What's going on, guys? Balkan Architect here, and today I'm really excited because I'm finally launching my advanced modeling in Revit course. This course is dedicated to conceptual massing in Revit. People have been asking me to do a course on this subject for years now, and finally I feel like I'm proficient enough to create a dedicated course. It's an 8-hour course, so 8 hours of video. It's divided into 5 chapters, and it covers completely how to, well, create complex forms and shapes in Revit, how the whole workflow looks like, and also all of the tools, of course. Now, the whole course is available on my website, balkanarchitect.com. That's going to be the first link in the description, just below the video. There you can immediately today, you can buy the whole course as a one-time payment, and then you get lifetime access to the course. Or if you're interested in more of a subscription-based package, that's available as well with the rest of my courses on that website. Now, also, it's going to be available on my Patreon page if that is what you prefer. So I'm going to be uploading the first hour of the course today, and then for the next weeks, following weeks, I'm going to be uploading 1 hour each week, as I usually do. And also, if you get this course on my website, the all project files are available with each lesson, so you can follow along with each step, as long as you have Revit 2020 or the newer version. Okay, so that's what the course is all about, and now let's do a quick little overview of what's included in the course and what does that look like. So I wanted to start off the course with a couple of chapters where I'm just going to be explaining how this whole environment, massing environment works, how do all of the tools work, all of the settings, and just to get familiar with this. So the first chapter is dedicated to the massing environment and understanding how to use different tools in order to create different shapes and complex forms. Now the second chapter is dedicated only to surfaces, because surfaces are such a large part of the conceptual massing environment. They have so much built-in functionality, so I wanted to dedicate a whole chapter of understanding how that functionality works, how it's connected to the pattern-based families and adaptive families, and how can you use this in order to create all sorts of interesting surfaces. But not only that, how to apply construction, materials, layers, panels, and so on to that construction, so to that surface. So I show you how to create a surface with beams, a surface with curved beams, of course, a surface with a curved truss that follows the shape of the surface. I show you how to create a 1-layer as well as a 2-layer space frame, and much more. Then, after those 2 chapters, we move over to projects. Now, projects are usually what my courses consist of. I'm all about project-based learning, so I decided to choose a few different projects that cover different topics when it comes to the massing environment in Revit, so we can kind of tackle it on all sides. So the first project, which is the 3rd chapter, is something that I'm going to be showing you a bit later on in this video. That's the Calatrava's famous turning torso building. It's an amazing building, and I'm going to be showing you actually in Revit what that looks like just in a few minutes in this video. So we're going to be talking about that a bit later on. Then we have the 4th chapter, which is basically it's designed for me to add new ideas and new projects along the way whenever I figure something out or have a good idea. I already have some ideas for the future. Currently, we only have 3 projects there, and there are these quick little projects, 10 to 20 minutes long, maybe a bit longer, where I show you how to create different types of building facades. I think it's a great exercise. So this chapter is designed to be built along the way as this as I get feedback from you guys, what you're interested in, what you like. I'm going to be adding new projects to this, but anyways, it's all about how can we use the massing environment in different ways to create different types of building facades. So that's what the 4th chapter is all about. And then finally, for the 5th chapter, and something that I'm sure most of you have been waiting for somebody to create a dedicated course on how to create the famous Zaha Hadid Cultural Center. This is a famous building, everybody loves this building, and nobody knows how to create something like this in Revit. And in this course, I'm going to be showing you how to get to that shape in Revit. Yes, these types of shapes are possible. They're extremely difficult to achieve, and that's why we need a chapter dedicated to that that's several hours long, but I thought it was important. I thought it's something that a lot of you would like, so I show you how to model that type of a shape in the massing environment. Unfortunately, we didn't have the time to kind of complete the building because that's something that I know you require probably a 100-person team, but we did achieve that shape, and I'm going to be showing you that in Revit a little bit later on in this video as well. So that's what the course is all about. As I said, it's 8 hours long, 5 chapters. It's available on my website today, so make sure to get it if you're interested in. So just the first link in the description, just below the video. And yeah, check it out if you're interested. Okay, so now let's jump into Revit and let's see these two projects, the Turning Torso as well as the Zaha Hadid Cultural Center. Let's check them out, what they look like in Revit. Let's get to Revit. And here we are in Revit. So I'm going to get started by explaining the first project, the first big project that we're going to be working on in this course, and that is this twisted torso building. So we start off in the massing environment as a massing family. I show you how to create this twisted shape, which is a little bit more complicated than one would think. Also, I show you how to work with tracing the floor plans and how to use that most efficiently. Once we're done with that, we'd add these kind of separations in the building and a lot of little kind of things that we need to add in for everything to kind of fit in perfectly. Now, once that is covered, the next step is to create this divided surface. So I explained how divided surfaces work and how they can be applied on a building such as this one, and then we create this facade. So the idea behind this facade is to have something that can be quickly applied over a large surface and include all of the necessary windows, and for that we have to create a panel, which is this panel over here, which it does look simple at first, but there is quite a bit of background work for this to make everything work properly and to make sure that it's scalable, so you can use it on a bigger or smaller buildings and for larger and smaller windows. We also have a panel with no windows if we at any point find that necessary. Now, once we have that, we load it here into the project, and this is that building. We add, of course, the walls, the floors. I show you how to add floors quickly, and I show you how to work with skyscrapers such as this one, the kind of the workflow and the approach for the quickest application of all elements, because being a skyscraper, of course, you do have a lot of repeating elements. We talk about construction, both this here external, like exoskeleton construction as I like to call it, and also internal elements. So if I move here to maybe floor, let's go level 6 for example, you can see here that we have these angled columns, and I show you how to create a perfect angled column that's going to follow the spiral twist of this building, so you can kind of follow the whole twisted facade all the way to the top using this kind of spiraling column, and it's an actual column. If we go here, if we select it, yeah, it's a structural column family, so that's really important. It can be cataloged later on. Also, we have this kind of twisted column. It's a little bit different. It's a custom column that we created, but it's only because we want to have a more aesthetic column following the back of this facade. Also, I show you how to apply all of the necessary elements and all of the little tips and tricks, and also I show you how to go back and forth between the project and the conceptual mass in order to make changes. So for example, here first we split the facade completely, and then I show you how to make a change here because I don't want to be actually split. So I show you how to make this kind of edge where it kind of perfectly follows the edge here, because we have one type of a facade here in the front and then a different one here in the back. So I show you how to make that and how to make that change, and then transfer that change back into Revit and adapt all of the elements, or back into a Revit project and then adapt all of the elements for this twisted torso building. Okay, and now for the second large project that we have over here, and that is the great Zaha Hadid's Cultural Center. And as you can see, this is that building. We have the exact shape created. Now I show you how to create this as an in-place, or not an in-place, but a massing family, and I show you how to use elevations in order to model that shape. How can you use elevations to create a more accurate shape? It's really difficult to use these, even though you have the elevation to go by. It's really difficult to kind of align the model to follow everything exactly how it should. So I show you how that approach works, how that goes, and I'm going to be having a different video where I explain the workflow a little bit better later on my YouTube channel. This is just kind of a quick complete course overview, and then I'm going to have a quick little overview of this chapter a bit later on my channel. So that's something to look forward to. Or if you get the course, well, then you get the complete course, step-by-step course on how to create a shape such as this one. So that's what we do for this project, and then we of course apply materials, and I should show you how can you what's the best approach when it comes to applying elements here, and what are some of the disadvantages of certain system families, and what are some of the advantages of others. So when should you use each one of those, and how to kind of complete the whole building. As you can see, we're definitely not going to have enough time for the complete building. This is something that would probably take a whole week to completely recreate the entire building, but I show you a decent amount so you can get started, and I think it would be a good exercise for somebody who gets this course to try to complete the whole project or the whole building, the shape, on their own. So there you go. That's the final chapter of this project, and of course those little mini projects along the way, I'm going to be adding more and more of those. I already have some in plan, and if you get the course, you will automatically get those updates along the way. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this quick little announcement about this course. I'm extremely excited about this and to see what you guys think, and how do you like the course. So let me know in the comment section below if you get the course. What do you think? Do you like the course? Do you like the idea of the course? And is this something that you find interesting? And would you like more courses dedicated to kind of complex modeling such as this one? Okay, so that's pretty much it, and I'll be back of course in a couple of days with another regular Balkan Architect tutorial. So thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye.